Hello Chipsters, hopefully this is number 2 video today. I just needed to get these out of the way before I do anything else, so I wanted to give you an update on the officer of the 93rd Sutherland Highlanders from 1854, so the Crimean War. As you can see, I've gone from more or less doing a kilt to more or less doing a whole figure really, but you know, at least you're getting to see him before I do anything else. See, the flesh tones are all done. I will be putting some photographs up. I won't put photographs up on this video, but when I've got it based, I'll put a lot of photographs up, and that should hopefully stabilise the colours. You'll be able to see that. I can never seem to get with the figures a decent. You know, it's you either get them too dull or too bright where you can't see the highlights and transitions. But I might do a bit more on the actual jacket. I'm not sure. Officers tended to have, because they're private purchase, they tended to have the scarlet, more scarlet uniforms. They tended to stay brighter and redder longer than it was well known that a lot of the other ranks red jackets tended to go different stages of pink or brick red. There's a big debate always over how these colours went, but I tend to show mine more of an orangey red, and I have done on this one to a degree. You just can't see very well. The only little bit that hasn't got any paint on whatsoever is the tiny little clasp for the plume, which I've just got to make sure is the right colour, so I didn't do that last night. The gold work, it's, well, I don't think it's brass, it's more the gold, but that is Vallejo's Glorious Gold, and if you put they do a skin tone wash. Well, I don't wash my skin tones really, so, but I do use that wash for changing colours in metallics, to take the actual sparkle off them a bit and to give them a slightly different colour. So that's Gav's top tip. If it's too strong, you can dilute it obviously as you would do normal paint, and then, although it's an ink, and then just put it on slightly weaker and build it up in areas that you wanted to. Now, the only thing that I'm going to probably struggle with, a lot of people will stick the arms on separate to get so that you can get to equipment and things. I don't like doing that because I tend to either mark the paintwork because I'm trying to stick the arm, either mark it with the blooming super glue or something, or just, you know, muck the paintwork up with my fingers. So this should have the, like, it varied. You could either have regimental. You've always seen the little white arrow. That's the government arrow from the War Department, and we've used the white arrow right up until, I don't think they use it now, but they were definitely using it in the 70s and early 80s. But you'd have a white arrow on there, and sometimes either the regiment number, because they were only really just going over to regimental names. So you would often still, regiments preferred to go by the number of the regiment rather than the county they were. If they were a county regiment, you know, like my old one, you know, they'd go by the number rather than the actual county area that it was recruited from. So you'd normally have the regimental number, or sometimes you might just have the company on the side. So I'm going to attempt that, but I think that's going to get quite messy quite quickly with the arm in the way, but it'll be a shame not to put something on. So yeah, that's that. The kilt still needs just going over, and just everything needs a clean up in general really. The velvet, this is like a red velvet between the metal of the actual basket of the hilt of the sword. That needs working on still. This piece down here is just a finial on the end of the sword, but this, I believe, is the actual sword knot, you know, so the loop that goes into that you'll notice them on War Games figures. If any of you watch my figures, they'll have a loop a lot of the times, and that's just so that you don't drop the sword or have it ripped off you or whatever, but it's mainly for just, you know, if the sword falls, it's still attached to you. It's a bit like having a pistol lanyard on in modern times on a military pistol. So there's bits there. I put a bit too much orange on that last night, and it stopped. So that needs cleaning up. but I'm not 100%. There's you can't the lights are bleaching out a lot of the highs and lows on this, but I do want to probably work some more shadow areas in places and then pick up some of the creases a bit more. But we're not talking a lot of work there. Now the only thing is usual, I'm stuck for a plinth, and I'm even wondering whether to sacrifice one of my cork. I've got about 10 of these cork bungs, and I'm even thinking of painting that black and putting my base material on the top. And because I mean these are about £6, £5, £6 for 8 or 10. They're the bungs that go into Charlie Mack would love this. They're the bungs that go into the top of alcohol barrels. So but they make great holders for these type of figures. But I'm thinking of, you know, maybe even doing that. I just don't have any plinths. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah. So the next time you see this, hopefully he'll be based up either on a cork bung or on something. But I've already got to invest in some plinths for some of the busts, like the Commodus bust, which actually I've still got to show you guys. He's all done, but I'm not making a third video today, thank goodness. So yeah, a bit of clean up today. There's a bit of clean up around the sporran. This is a badger, by the way, and what's left of him. So there's a bit of a clean up around the sporran area, around the kilt, bit of overpaint if there is any, and then just go around all the edges of the sash and things like that, just to, again, any overspill. I did last night in the enthusiasm. I clipped the white turn back with a bit of the brassy gold, so that needs to be whitened again. Classic Gav. The sword, I've put different washes of turquoises and blues into the steel, just to give it a more, you know, a more catch-light effect type of thing. So yeah, love the face. The face was fantastic to paint. Again, it's not really, even if I go in closer, it's not going to really make much difference, I don't think. But the face was a cracking face to do, and I've put lots of shadow areas in there. Again, the face is more stark than it looks there. It's got some nice decent shadows in. And one of the little red bands there right at the front, it would have to be, where are we? That's a bit big, so that might have to be reduced in size slightly. So guys, that's our 93rd Sutherland Highlander officer from 1854, so Crimean War, Balaclava, Inkerman, Alma, Sevastopol. And I've thoroughly enjoyed that, and I would recommend the figure to anybody. Yes, it's a kilted figure, and again, you just have to get over your the scariness of painting kilts. The one bit I'm not happy with, and I knew I'd stuff up slightly, is the dicing on the hose there on the socks. It's not 100%, and I'm going to have another go probably tonight. Just see if I can clean it up a bit better. But I will call that a day on that. I don't want to spend any more time on the hose, because I've really gone backwards and forwards over it. It's just trying to get the spacing right for everything. It's a bit hard to explain, but maybe if I put some tall bushes right up to the sporran, you'll never notice. Right guys, thank you very much for stopping by and taking a look. And as I say, I would recommend. The only thing that was a stuff up was that sword blade. It's not the only one that's like that. You know, it seems to be common practice with the thin resin. They end up like a roller coaster track, you know, up, down, all over the shop. So, but again, I've shown it there. That's just a piece of plastic card, you know, styrene sheet, whatever you want to call it, that's been cut and just shaped slightly with just sanders. And I've just used a seam scraper for doing aeroplanes, you know, the Tamiya seam scraper to go down the middle. But you could use whatever you wanted to, just to put that air channel in there. So thank you very much guys once again for stopping by and taking a look. I hope everything's going well with you. Coming up, we should hope, if I've mentioned, if you watched my Pink Panther video, I've got another kit, as if I need any more, but you know what it's like. and I'm going to build that as soon as it hits the deck. It'll be following on behind the Pink Panther before I plough into the kit mounting. So that's going to be sort of unboxing with that. And what else we got coming up? Oh yeah, I need to show you the Commodus bust. Not much more to show apart from the highlighted metal really, but I did say I'd do that, so I'd like to do that. The Tyrant 4 build, by the way, that does say the tank's built. There's nothing, that's all built. It's just getting around to doing the blooming diorama, which I'm dragging my feet on. Still haven't ordered any more bits and pieces for that. I will do, because I need to have some bits and pieces for other up-and-coming bits and pieces. So, oh dear. And I've got some 18mm Napoleonics to show off as well. So you take care of yourselves, and we'll catch each other very soon on another video. Cheers.